All right. Okay, so how do we keep the first fruits, right? How do we keep the second Negro feast? There's three in the year, and we'll look at what all three are. Um, that the men must appear before the Most High in, right? There's three feasts in which the men must appear before the Most High, and they cannot appear before the Most High empty in these feasts. And it's specific to men, not boys. Okay, so before you're 20, you're not considered a man by the Most High. You're considered a youth. Okay, young men, that's what they call them in the scriptures. Maidens, they call them also, for sisters, they call them maidens or young women as well within the scriptures. Um, so today we're going to look at how we keep the first fruits. All right. And we're going to start in Deuteronomy chapter 16. Right. You guys can take notes because we're going to have the ordinances of the first fruits highlighted today. So we'll go from verse 16. We'll read verse 16 and 17 here in Deuteronomy chapter 16. Let's get that, please, Ben.
You said 16?
Verse 16 and 17.
3 times in a year shall all thy males appear before Yahweh thy God in the palace which he shall choose.
In the,
In the feast,
in the,
in the place which he shall choose.
right,
In the feast of unleavened bread, and in the feast of weeks, and in the feast of tabernacles, and they shall not appear before Yahweh empty.
right. So just as I was saying, the scriptures say all the men must appear before the Most High 3 times a year. Unleavened bread, which is what feast, Kara? Okay, Ruth? The Feast of Unleavened Bread is what feast?
Feast of Weeks.
What is the Feast of Unleavened Bread? What's another name for the Feast of Unleavened Bread? Come on.
The Feast of Tabernacles.
No, that's incorrect. Sister Akira, what's another name for the Feast of Unleavened Bread?
Passover, right?
Yep, the Passover. Okay. So during the Feast of Passover, all the men must appear before the Most High. During the Feast of Weeks, which is the Feast of First Fruits, also called Pentecost, the men must appear before the Most High. And during the Feast of Tabernacles, which we all know what that is, the men must appear before the Most High. And they can't come with their hands swinging, you see? Now, why does it say the men must come and it doesn't say the women have to come? Because sometimes the women are unclean because of their monthly cycle, and they're usually put apart 7 days, and that may fall upon the feasts of the Most High. So the Most High has extended an arm of mercy towards the woman where she doesn't have to come to these feasts. Okay? Despite what, some misinformed Israelites might say. There's a reason the Most High extend that grace, and there you have it, right? So, read verse 17.
Every man shall give as he is able, according to the blessing of Yahweh thy God, which he hath given thee.
All right, all right. So every man shall give. How much? What he's able to. Okay? According to what Yahweh has given him extra, that's what he's gonna give during the Feast of Unleavened Bread, during the Feast of Weeks, which is the Feast of First Fruits or Pentecost, and during the Feast of Tabernacles. All right. So that's the law. Let's look at another scripture in the law, Numbers 28. And we'll go from 26 to 31 here in Numbers 28. Go ahead, Sister Akira. From verse
Starting at 26.
26 to 31 here and do it in Numbers 28, verse 26 to verse 31.
Okay.
I will
Uh,
stop you at certain verses just to highlight certain things. But go ahead.
okay. Also in the day of the first fruits, when ye bring a new meat offering unto Yahweh, after your weeks be out, ye shall have an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work.
So pause. So what do you do um for first fruits? You have a holy convocation, okay? And you can also not work a job on that day. All right. You also have to bring a new meat offering. Is that new meat offering actually meat, Ben? The new meat offering, is that actually meat?
No,
What is it? What is it? Did you hear me, Ben?
yeah,
What is the offering if it's not meat? It is,
uh, it's a grain offering.
that's right. All right. So the meaning has been lost in the translation. Um, of the 1611 English. Okay. So when you bring a new meat offering unto Yahweh after your weeks be out, Numbers 20:26. But really, it is a new manha offering. Manha or manaha, depending on how you um break down your Paleo Hebrew. Okay. So let's see here. Great. So it's a new grain offering, right? And we'll see what that new grain offering takes the form of and everything as we go throughout the study today. Keep reading.
But ye shall offer the burnt offering
Wait,
for
hold on,
sweet.
hold on, hold on. Wasn't it Sister Kira that was reading?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Sister Kira.
Okay. But ye shall offer the burnt offering for a sweet savor unto Yahweh, 2 young bullocks, 1 ram, 7 lambs of the first year. And their meat offering of flour mingled with oil, 3/10 deals onto 1 bullock, 2/10 deals onto 1 ram, a several tenth deal onto 1 lamb, throughout the 7 lambs, and 1 kid of the goats, to make an atonement for you. Ye shall offer them beside the continual burnt offering, and his meat offering. They shall be unto you without blemish, and their drink offerings.
And the drink offerings, right? So what I really want to highlight there is let's see, 28. It says, and a meat offering of flour mingled with oil, right? So right here, within this verse, it kind of starts to break down for you what the meat offering is. The meat offering is not actual meat, it's an offering of flour mingled with oil. Okay. 3/10 deals unto one bullock. Okay. Now, maybe a year or 2 years ago now, we did biblical weights and measures and broke down what the 10th deal um of flour would weigh, what that would be today. Do I remember right now? No, I don't. Uh, but that's something that can be referenced fairly quickly if anyone wants to know. And then it goes on, right? The point is, the grain offering is of flour mingled with oil. Well, what kind of flour, right? Let's go to 2 Kings 7. And I will read from 1. It says, Then Elisha said, Hear ye the word of Yahweh. Thus saith Yahweh, tomorrow about this time shall a measure of fine flour be sold for a shekel, and 2 measures of barley for a shekel in the gate of Samaria. Then a lord on whose hand the king leaned answered the man of God and said, Behold, if Yahweh would make windows in heaven, might this thing be? And he said, Behold, thou shalt see it with thine eyes, but thou shalt not eat thereof. So what's happening here? Elisha is saying, listen, tomorrow at this time, the Most High is going to make sure fine flour is sold for a certain amount of money, right? Very cheap, okay? And one of the lords in the place, okay, one of the leaders in the place uh, says, if the Most High can make a window in the sky, then we'll see this happen. If we see the Most High make a window in the sky, then that will happen, right? And what ends up happening is exactly this. Let's see here. Let me read on. It says, let's see. And there were 4 leprous men at the entering in of the gate, and they said one to another, Why sit we here until we die? If we say, we will enter into the city, then the famine is in the city, and we shall die there. And if we sit here, we die also. Now, therefore, come and let us fall unto the army of the Syrians. If they shall, if they save us alive, we shall live, and if they kill us, we shall but die. All right. So these guys, leprous, so hungry. At this time, they say, listen, man, let's just go deal with the Syrian army, right? And if they kill us, then at least we die quick. And if they don't kill us, at least we'll eat some food. It says, And they rose up in the twilight to go into the camp of the Syrians. And when they were come to the uttermost part of the camp of Syria, behold, there was no man there. For Yahweh had made the host of the Syrians to hear a noise of chariots and a noise of horses, even the noise of a great host. And they said one to another, Lo, the king of Israel have hired us against the king of the Hittites and the kings of the Egyptians to come upon us. Sorry, Lo, the king of Israel have hired against us the king of the Hittites and the king of the Egyptians to come upon us. So the Syrians fled because the Most High made them hear as if an army was coming to get them. Wherefore they arose and fled in the twilight and left their tents and horses and their donkeys, even the camp as it was, and fled for their life. Okay. And when these lepers came to the uttermost part of the camp, they went into one tent and did eat and drink and carried thence or from there silver, gold, and raiment or clothes, and went and hid it, and came again and entered into another tent and carried thence also, and went and hid it. Then they said one to another, we do not well. So these same lepers that were starving, notice how the Most High blessed them first. That's very interesting, right? He made them full of their belly first, the poor and unfortunate and diseased. And then they said, man, what we're doing is not good, man. We're carrying all of these spoils of war that these guys left behind. And look what else they say, right? This day is a day of good tidings, right? Because they're taking all these guys' stuff that they ran and left. And we hold our peace. So they're like, why are we not saying anything? If we tarry or stay till morning light, some mischief will come upon us. So these guys are like, yo, we can't do this, man. Something bad's gonna happen to us if we keep all this to ourselves, right? So you see the mindset of our people at that time to share with one another, man. Even in the throes of selfishness, we had not or of sin, we had not lost our culture of love and sharing with one another, right? And even now, in the throes of sin, many Israelites still have that vibe to share with one another, man, right? Especially in the Caribbean, at least when I was there. Now, therefore, come that we may go and tell the king's household. Okay, so they decide to go and tell the king. So they came and called unto the porter of the city, and they told them, saying, we came to the camp of the Syrians, and behold, there was no man there, neither voice of man, but horses tied and donkeys tied, and the tents as they were. And he called the porters, and they told it to the king's house within. And the king arose in the night and said unto his servants, I will now show you what the Syrians have done to us. They know that we be hungry, therefore are they gone out of the camp to hide themselves in the field, saying, when they come out of the city, we shall catch them alive and get into the city. And one of his servants answered and said, let some take, I pray thee, 5 of the horses that remain which are left in the city. Behold, they are as all the multitude of Israel that are left in it. Behold, I say, they are even as all the multitude of the Israelites that are consumed, and let us send and see. So they're like, yeah, let's just take a couple of the horses and see what happens, right? Send a couple people because these guys have horses like there's people in Israel, all right? So let's just take some of the horses and see what happens. They took therefore 2 chariot horses, and the king sent after the hosts of the Syrians, saying, go and see. And they went after them unto Jordan, and lo, all the way was filled full of garments and vessels, which the Syrians had cast away in their haste. And the messengers returned and told the king. And the people went out and spoiled the tents of the Syrians. So a measure of fine flour was sold for a shekel, and 2 measures of barley for a shekel, according to the word of Yahweh. So the thing that the prophet Elisha told them was going to happen, happened. Well, what happened? Well, the fine flour was sold for a shekel, and 2 measures of barley was also sold for a shekel. All right. Now, this was amazing because as I want to show, fine flour is not no regular flour. All right. And the king appointed the Lord on whose hand he leaned to have the charge of the gate, and the people throwed him in the gate, and he died, as the man of God had said, who spoke when the king came down to him. So the same guy that doubted Elisha, and Elisha told him, well, when the fine flour come in, you're not gonna eat of it. He didn't tell him what was gonna happen, but he told him you're not gonna eat of it. That same guy, they put him over to oversee the gate, right? And what happened? The people trod upon him in the gate because they so hungry, everybody rioting to go get the food. They step all on the man, and the man died. All right. And it came to pass as the man of God had spoken to the king, saying, 2 measures of barley for a shekel, and a measure of fine flour for a shekel, shall be tomorrow about this time in the gate of Samaria. All right. Let's go to Genesis 18. I will read 1 to 8. Let's get from 1 to 8 here, Ruth. We're trying to figure out what is this fine flour. Ruth, go ahead and read from 1 to 8, please.
And Yahweh appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre, and he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day, and lift up and he lift up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door, and bowed himself towards the ground, and said, Yahweh, if now I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy servant. Let a little water, I pray you, be fetched, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree. And I will fetch a morsel of bread, and comfort ye your hearts,
Right.
after ye shall pass on. For therefore are ye come to your servant. And they said, So do as thou hast said.
Right. So these three men that came to see him were angels. Okay. And so he's like, relax your mind and just chill. I'm gonna go make you guys some food. So go ahead.
And Abraham hastened
Hastened.
into the tent unto Sarah, and said, Make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal,
Of what?
kneaded of fine meal,
Right. So not just normal meal, fine meal. Go ahead.
knead it and make cakes upon the hearth. And
Read.
Abraham ran unto the herd, and fetch a calf tender and good, and gave it unto a young man, and he hastened to dress it.
Right.
He took butter and milk, and the calf which he had dressed, and set it before them. And he stood by them under the tree, and they did eat.
And evening. All right. So they had fine meal. You had fine flour being sold for next to nothing, right? Now, if the fine flour was being sold at a much at a price that the that the Lord could not believe, what does that tell you about the price of fine flour normally, Ruth? If the Lord in Second Kings was in disbelief that fine flour would be sold for a shekel, right? What does that tell you about the normal price of fine flour?
That it's expensive.
That it's expensive. All right. Very good. Let's go to numbers 18 and 12. Let's get that, please, Ben.
All the best of the oil, and all the best of the wine, and of the wheat, the first fruits of them which they shall offer unto Yahweh, them have I given thee.
So when the first fruits is given unto I think it's the Levites here. Yeah, 8. And Yahweh spake unto Aaron, Behold, I have also given thee the charge of mine heave offerings of all the hallowed things, so all the holy things brought into the temple of the children of Israel. So the Most High put Aaron in charge of all the holy things, okay, um, offered in the temple in Israel. He said, Unto thee have I given them by reason of the anointing, and also to who thy sons by an ordinance forever. Okay. They shall be thine of the most holy things, reserved from the fire. So there's holy things and most holy things. The most holy things goes to Aaron and his family, right? It says every oblation of theirs. So every meat offering of theirs. So that's every grain offering, every sin offering, every trespass offering, which they shall render unto Yahweh, shall be most holy for thee and for thy sons, Aaron, right? Remember, Aaron was a Levite. He was the chief Levite. And so his sons were the chief, um, is the chief house, um, of the Levites. Okay. It says, In the most holy place shalt thou eat, every male shall eat it, it shall be holy unto thee. And this is thine, the heave offering of their gift, with all the wave offerings of the children of Israel. I have given them unto thee, and to thy sons, and to thy daughters with thee, by a statute forever. Every one that is clean in thy house shall eat of it. What are they going to eat? All the best of the oil, all the best of the wine, and of the wheat, the first fruits of them, which they shall offer unto Yahweh, them have I given thee. Okay, and whatsoever is first ripe in the land, which they shall bring unto Yahweh, shall be thine. Everyone that is clean in thy house shall eat of it. Everything devoted in Israel shall be thine. All right. The point here being, the Most High gave to Aaron and to his son all the best of everything, all right, that was offered unto Yahweh. So, what is the best flour? Regular flour or fine flour? Ruth. Ruth, what is the best flour? Fine flour or regular flour?
Fine flour.
Fine flour. Okay. So this is how we know when we bring the new grain offering to the Most High, it has to be made of the best flour. All right. And what did the Most High say to the men? He said to the men that uh what do you call it? They are to uh contribute what? What comes out of their blessing? What they can, right? So buy the best flour that you can when you bring the Most High new grain offering for him, right? Um, let's go to Leviticus 23. So that's the new grain offering, right? We'll talk a little bit more about the new grain offering so people can know sort of what that takes the form of. I'll tell you guys right now, it's basically 2 loaves of bread made from this particular fine flour. We're gonna look at it a little bit later. Hopefully we get to it. But that's the ordinance. You can write that down. So the Most High also said in Numbers 28, when we read from 26 to 31, that you can't work a job at that time either, right? When on the day that you're keeping the feast. So let's back that up with a witness. Let's see here. Verse 20 and verse 21. Let's get that, please, Ben. And by the way, welcome to my brother QB there, and everybody else that came in, brother Chris, brother Justice as well. Go ahead. Ben, 20 verse 20 to 21 in Leviticus 23. Go ahead.
And the priest shall wave them with the bread of the first fruits for a wave offering before Yahweh. With the 2 lambs they shall be holy to Yahweh for the priest. And ye shall proclaim on the selfsame day that it may be unholy convocation unto you. Ye shall do no sorrowful work therein. It shall be a statute forever in all your dwellings throughout your generations.
Right. So the Most High say in all your homes throughout all your generations, you can't work a job on his day of first fruits. Okay. What is happening in verse 20? The priest is gonna waive what? Um, the sacrifice of the kid of the goats, the 2 lambs of the first year for a sacrifice of a peace offering. Let's see here. There we go. 17. Just right. Let me just note that here. Just bear with me. You shall bring out of your habitations. Let me go a little bit higher. And you shall count from the morrow after the Sabbath, from the day that you brought the sheaf of the wave offering. 7 Sabbaths shall be complete. As I told you guys before, next week is the Feast of Weeks or Pentecost, what the Christians call Pentecost. Actually means the Feast of Weeks. All right, not the same feast. Theirs is pagan. This is the real one. Says, even unto the morrow after the 7th Sabbath shall ye number 50 days, and you shall offer the new meat or new grain offering unto Yahweh. You shall bring out of your habitation 2 wave loaves. See, this is what I was talking about. Okay, 2 wave loaves of 2 tenth deals. They shall be of fine flour. They shall be baken with leaven. Okay. So we just came off of the feast of unleavened bread, where the Most High say, remove all yeast from my offering, okay, or from your bread, actually, as a symbolic removal of sin from your life, right? And then he tells you, after that, it's okay. You can eat some enjoyable bread, some bread with leaven in it. In fact, bring the new bread, make sure it have leaven in it, right? And at this time, it's a feast for the eating of pleasurable food, your cakes and your different things that you like to bake as Black people. Your coconut cake and your turnover and all of these things. This is the time to bring these things and rejoice before the Most High in a feast full of desserts, right? So the Most High is not boring, man. The man wants you to have a good time, right? But the foundation of your life has to be spiritual law. There's a time and a place for everything, right? So it says, when you bake it with leaven, these loaves of bread, They are what? The first fruits unto Yahweh, man. Right? They are the first fruits unto Yahweh. And we know it says the Lord here, but for those who are new and don't know, his name is Yahweh. Okay, and they replace his name because his name literally has power to bless his people. So they removed the name all throughout the Bible, the thousands of times that it showed up, in order to remove the blessing from the children of Israel. And then it goes on and says, all the other meats that are to be brought with with the uh the loaves, all right, which we don't do in this time. We don't do animal sacrifice because Yahweh Shai, the Prince, the Messiah, is a one-time sacrifice, a blood sacrifice for all sin. All right, so we don't sacrifice animals to get our sins washed away. The blood of the Most High Son, whom we sacrifice, um, already plays that role. All right, so the point here being just to back up that you can't work on that particular day. All right. So let's jump down. Let's highlight verse 27 of Numbers 28. By the way, if I have more readers, let me know. You guys want to read, let me know, and I'll call on you guys to read. Okay. So let's see here. All right, verse 27 of Numbers 28 here. It says, "But you shall offer the burnt offering for a sweet savor unto Yahweh, 2 bullocks, 1 ram, 7 lambs of the first year." And it goes on and it goes on and tells you, about the grain offering with it, etc. But in this time, as I said, we don't offer animals, right? So what do we do? Feasts. We bring symbolic offerings, okay? These things are purely symbolic at the feast, okay? So what you want to do, you want to bring symbolic offerings in the form of dishes that include the following. 27, you could bring young bulls, so calf, veal, all of these things, all right? You could bring sheep, all right? Verse 30, look at this. It says, and 1 kid of the goats. Remember, these are all things, offerings that you can bring. It says, and 1 kid of the goats to make an atonement for you. So if Messiah is already the atonement and you're doing a feast symbolizing, celebrating the first fruits, and you're, cooking up certain dishes symbolizing these sacrifices that we used to bring, would you bring a goat? Do you think it's wise to bring a goat to the feast? I'm going to ask the question again. If Christ has already made the atonement for you, and you're doing a feast symbolizing these past animal sacrifices, right? Do you think it would be wise to include the goat in the feast, seeing as Yahweh Shai has already made the atonement? Who was the last reader? Was it you, Ben?
Yeah.
So I'll put the question to you then.
Mm. Well, if he's already made the atonement, then you wouldn't need to bring goat.
Exactly, right? So I would say avoid bringing goat, right? Out of respect for the fact that Yahweh Shai is already the atonement. So if we're doing a feast symbolizing the proper keeping of the first fruits, then we wouldn't include the goat because we already have the atonement in Yahweh Shai, right? 31. We also, here's the drinks that we ought to bring, right? Uh, oh, it just says drink offerings. That's hilarious. But I have some information here on exactly what the drink offering is. All right. So bring symbolic drink offerings of wine and strong drinks. How do we know that? Um, let's go to verse 7. The drink offering thereof, right? Bear with me. So if you read 2 here, or from 1 actually, it tells you Yahweh said to Moses, command the children of Israel, that's you, and say unto them, my offering and my bread for my sacrifices made by fire for a sweet savor unto me shall you observe to offer unto me in their due season. Meaning what? You gotta do my offerings, man. And you gotta bring my bread for my sacrifices. All right? Do it in its due season. And as we read on and we get down to 7, within the instructions, it says what the drink offering is. The drink offering thereof shall be the fourth part of an hin for one lamb. Okay, so for each lamb, you have to bring the fourth part of an hin. We're gonna break that down. Bear with me a second here. Yeah, I think, yeah, here we go. Yeah, I have the info on it. In the holy place shalt thou cause the strong wine to be poured out unto Yahweh for a drink offering. See that? So the drink offerings were a certain measure and they were offered in a certain way. So when you see our people pouring out what's called libations, this is an ancient practice from our community. All right. We poured the wine out not for our dead homies, man. It was for Yahweh. Okay. That's what we did. Right. And we had a certain measure of how it was poured out. And the Most High liked the strong wine. You see? Not the weak stuff, man. Not the cheap stuff. Okay? The good stuff. The best, actually, as we read before. The best of Israel's production is supposed to go to the Most High. Right? And as we looked at a couple lessons before, when you do that, he blesses you with more when you give him the best of what you have. So let's look at this quarter here right quick. The quarter hin. See here. Measurement system, the Babylonians gallon. And the hin slightly more than 6 liters, 1.6 US gallons. Okay. That is the hin. So a quarter hin is a quarter of 6 liters. All right. The Hebrew system was notable for the closer relationship between dry and liquid volumetric measures. And this is from Britannica. The liquid core was the same size as the dry Homer, and the liquid bat corresponded to the dry Ephah. What we want here is the size of the hin. The hin was 6 liters. You divide that by 4, and you get the quarter hin. All right. So this was the measure of the drink offering. So the quarter hin is 1.69 liters. just over 1.5 bottles of 750 milliliter wine. So this was what was poured out per lamb for the Most High, man. All right. So what do? You bring your 1.5 bottles of wine to pour out to the Most High. Again, all of these things is what you, if you can afford. The men, if you can afford, right? You bring your 1.5 bottle of wine. You make sure you're not working that day. You bring the Most High 2 loaves, right, of leavened bread, right? 2 big loaves of leavened bread. You have a holy convocation. That's what you do so far, right? Also, you're to worship before the Most High on this particular day. So not everyone can, sing and all of these things. That's why David had singers, people dedicated to these things, right? So they lead and you hum along and just vibe, whatever you can do, man. You sing if the spirit moves you and you can sing. But the point is for you to get into a meditation, worshiping the Most High upon that day, right? So here we have Deuteronomy 26. We'll read verse 10 and 11. Let's get that, please, Sister Kira.
And now, behold, I have brought the first fruits of the land, which thou, O Yahweh, hast given me. And thou shalt set it before Yahweh thy God, and worship Yahweh thy God.
Right.
And thou shalt rejoice in every good thing which Yahweh thy God hath given unto thee, and unto thine house, thou, and the Levite, and the stranger that is among you.
Right. I think that's all I want on that. Yeah. Okay. So we just read the Most High say, hey, you got to bring the first fruits. In fact, we started with that scripture in Deuteronomy, I believe it was 16. Yeah, Deuteronomy 16, 16, and 17. It tell all the men you have to bring the first fruits. So now our brother says, hey, father, I have brought the first fruits of the land, okay, which you have given to me, right? And this is why I always tell people, man, like the Most High tied all our feasts to an agrarian lifestyle. So this is where we ought to be, close to the land, man, not in Babylon. That's why he also tells you he's not gonna allow Esau, the so-called white man, to fool the world with cities, man. Okay, these things take you away from all the things the Most High made to sustain you, man, right? And to make you strong and live long and healthy, right? I digress. He said, hey, I brought these first fruits, Yahweh, that you gave me, right? And it says, set it before Yahweh and worship before Yahweh with it, right? And then here's some pointers. It says, when the Most High give you these things, you shall rejoice in every good thing that the Most High give you. So show some gratitude, right? Um, not only should you rejoice, um, in the things that the Most High has given you, recognize that the Most High has also given these things to your house, which is your family, to the Levite, which is the priest of the Most High that spreads the gospel, and he's also given it to the non-Israelite that is faithful walking amongst you, the Israelites, right? So the Most High always had place for what the Christians like to call Gentiles. So when Christianity tells you, oh, Christ came and opened it up to the Gentiles. What are you guys talking about? This is what, the second book? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. This is the fifth book of the Bible. And strangers, which is Gentiles, are already there, and the Most High is already saying, yeah. The Gentiles supposed to, you ought to rejoice that the Most High has given these first fruits to the Gentile as well. So the Gentile was always there. They just have a demonic doctrine that tries to take the priesthood away from the people of the Most High and give it to them with their lies and deceit, man. And they're freaking white Jesus, man, who's supposed to come and save the world from who? Himself, right? It's not in the Bible, and it doesn't add up, family, right? In any case, so this is the other thing that we got to do, okay? So we got to worship before the Most High for the first fruits. The men have to bring their drink offering, um, their 2 loaves of bread, right? And whatever else they want to cook. And don't bring no goat, all right? Because we're not trying to diss Yahweh Shai, okay? So that's what you do for the day of first fruits. So now let's look at what is the first fruits exactly, right? Seems simple, right? But it's more than just a feast, right? There's a few different parts to it, and you guys will be pretty happy to see exactly what the first fruits is. So what is the first fruits? Let's look at the pretty easy, straightforward definition, and then we'll see that it's not just a physical thing, but the first fruits is also spiritual, like everything else that the Most High deal with, right? Leviticus 23, we'll read 16, 17, and 18. So let's get that, please, Ruth. 16 to 18.
Even unto the morrow after the seventh Shabbat, shall ye number 50 days, and ye shall offer a new meat offering unto Yahweh.
Right.
Ye shall bring out of your habitations 2 wave loaves of 2/10 deals. They shall be of fine flour. They shall be baken with leaven. They are the first fruits unto Yahweh.
Right. Read.
And ye shall offer with the bread 7 lambs without blemish of the first year, and 1 young bullock, and 2 rams. They shall be for a burnt offering unto Yahweh, with their meat offering,
Right.
and their drink offerings, even an offering made by fire, of sweet savor unto Yahweh.
Of a sweet savor unto Yahweh. All right. So what is the first fruits? An offering consisting of a new grain offering in the form of 2 loaves of bread, burnt offerings, and drink offerings to Yahweh. Right. Now, again, we're not doing these burnt offerings because these are offerings of animals. Yahweh Shai already fulfilled animal sacrifice. All right. So all we're doing is bringing dishes symbolic of these things. The loaves, we're bringing some bread. Um, we're bringing some meats, excluding the goat, and we're bringing our strong wine. All right. So what is the first fruits? An offering consisting of new grain offering in the form of 2 loaves, bread, burnt offerings, and drink offerings to Yahweh. But what is the first fruits also? Let's go to John 6. So on the physical level, that's what the first fruits is, but on a spiritual level, Here's what it is. Uh, Read this, Ben, from 30 to 35, please.
They said therefore unto him, what sign showest thou then, that we may see and believe thee? What dost thou work?
Right. So Yahweh Shai, in 29 here, is trying to preach to these people. And they're like, well, who are you, man? Right? Because if I remember correctly, he's talking to the high religious officials within among the Israelites at the time, right? And so they're like, well, who are you? What sign you gonna show us, to prove to us that you come from the Most High? Why are they asking that? Because there's an ordinance in the Old Testament that says if a prophet come, if somebody come and say that they're a prophet, they got to show you a sign that they're a prophet. They can't just say, oh, well, I'm a prophet and you believe them. They got to show you some kind of power that the Most High has given them. Um, and it can be as simple as their prophecies coming true. And then you will believe that then you will know that this person is coming from Yahweh Shai. All right. So this is what was going on, coming from Yahweh, sorry. So this is what was going on, this is who's speaking in these questions that were just asked. What sign showest thou that we may see and believe? See, what does thou would? So show me something. Show me something. Right? That's what they're saying to him. Right? These these high level religious Negroes, man. Right? And then what happens?
Our fathers did eat man. Our fathers did eat manna in the desert,
It's
and
manna.
our
It's
fathers
manna.
did eat manna in the desert, as it is written, He gave them bread from heaven to eat.
Right?
Then Yahshua said unto them, verily, verily, I say unto you, Moses gave you not bread from heaven, but my Father giveth you the true bread from heaven.
Right?
For the bread of Yahweh is he which cometh down from heaven, and giveth life unto the world. Then said they unto him, then said they unto him, then said they unto him, Yahweh evermore give us this bread.
Right. Yahweh evermore give us this bread. Remember in the first fruits, one of the main things that you gotta bring is two wave loaves. That's one of the main offerings that you gotta bring. Two wave loaves, the best of your harvest. You bring that and you present it before Yahweh. You wave it before Yahweh, and then uh, it's eaten. Okay, right? But by the Most High's holy priests. Okay, and their house, right? And if you've been to class before, you know that the Most High said since the Old Testament that the entire nation would become a nation of kings and priests. And if you go in the New Testament, you know that we are now under the order of Melchizedek, where it's not just the Levites that are priests, but it is the 12 tribes, the men of the 12 tribes of Israel, right? As the Most High wrote was going to happen since the beginning, because he knew the Levites would not uphold the priesthood, and he would have to fire them, okay, which he did, sorry. So in this time, when the loaves are waved and then it is eaten by the households of the priests, okay? And this is why you're going to see later on, hopefully we get to it, that if you're not walking in the truth, you're not allowed to eat this food, okay? So this is not the time to, this feast cannot just be, this is not the time to invite your family just to come for a barbecue, man. They got to be walking with the Most High, all right? Or they would be putting curses upon themselves eating that food because they're not discerning the Most High. They're just coming to eat a food for at a barbecue or something or a dinner, right? So that's not allowed with this particular feast, right? Because this is holy, man. And the priests are the ones that's supposed to eat it, them and their houses, right? And the strangers amongst them, as we read, but you will see that it is holy strangers, right? When we get to those scripts. So, you just read 33, right? The bread of Yahweh, which is he which came down from heaven and giveth life unto the world. Did you just read that?
Yeah.
Right. So what is this? What is the first fruit, Ben? Remember, I said I would give you the physical definition, which we did, the literal wave loaves, right? Right, plus the burnt and the drink offerings, the principal thing being the wave loaves. The wave loaves are the first fruit on a physical level. So spiritually, what is the first fruits?
Mm. Uh, the 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 spirit that gives life.
No. Finish read this and then answer again. So start at 33, go to 35, and then think about it and answer again.
For the bread of Yahweh is he which cometh down from heaven, and giveth life unto the world.
Right?
Then said they unto him, Yahweh, evermore give us this bread. And
Right.
Yahshua said unto them, I am the bread of life.
What
He
did he
that
say? Hold on. What did he say?
I am the bread of life.
Yahweh Shai said, I am the bread of life, man. Read.
He that cometh to me shall never hunger, and
Right.
he that believeth on me shall never thirst.
So what is the first fruits?
Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shai, man. Yahweh Shai is the first fruits. The fulfillment of the first fruit feast is Yahweh Shai, man. He is the bread of life. This faith that we have that our God is going to save us from the hand of our enemies and all who hate us. This faith that we have that keeping our God's commandments is our true heritage and lifestyle and is bulletproof within the Babylonian system. This is the bread of life. These are the first fruits, man. Right? Because didn't Yahushua say, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you? Didn't he say that because the people were worried about what they were going to eat, where they were going to live, all of these things? You see, he is the bread of life. Righteousness is the root or the foundation that gives birth to life, even life eternal. And people don't realize eternal life don't just start at a point in time. You grow into eternal life. You begin to live on earth. You get resurrected from spiritual death while you're on earth. And you grow and you grow and you grow into an eternal being, man. That's how it works. You know, the most I tell you, hey, when the babies stay in the womb, when a baby is growing in a woman, beyond 9 months, the baby has to come out. What does that show you? There's a process for everything. You understand? He illustrated that to show that, yo, listen, man, I'm just waiting for my numbers of people to be saved. Once I reach 144,000 leaders in each of my tribes, I'm done in this kingdom. That's all I'm waiting for. Everything happens through the process of time, including becoming an eternal being, right? But that's just a side point. Yahweh Shai is the bread of life. right? The faith in our own culture and lifestyle based upon spiritual law, not Babylonian law. This is the bread of life, man, right? Which Yahweh prepared for us from before anybody took their first breath, man. He wrote the script before he built the movie, you know? Let's get a couple more on Yahweh Shai being the first fruits, okay? Because, I'm not just making this up because I thought, oh, this is a nice connection. Let me make this connection, and yeah, that's what it is. No, the scriptures tell you that straight, right? It's First Corinthians chapter 15. Let's get 21 to 23 here, please, Sister Kira.
For since for since by man came death, by man came also the resurrection of the dead.
Mm-hmm.
For as in Adam all die, even so in Yahushua shall all be made alive.
Right?
But every man in his own order,
Mm-hmm.
Yahushua the firstfruits, afterward that they are Yahushua's at his coming.
Read the afterward part again.
Afterward that they are Yahushua's at his coming.
No, yeah, you need to switch those two words.
Sorry.
Afterwards,
Afterwards, they that are Yahushua's at his coming.
right. So Yahweh Shai is the first fruits, man. It tell you that plain, Jane, in the scriptures. And when it tell you plain, you could see where it's there symbolically all throughout the word. So he is the first fruit. And afterwards, um, they that belong to him at his coming. You see? And what he is, anyways. Yeah. And it even tells you specific um what is the first fruits of, right? Give me verse 20, please.
But now is Yahushua risen from the dead, and become the firstfruits of them that slept.
Right. So he's the first fruits of, what's another way to say that? The first fruits of them that slept. Right? The clue is in 21.
The dead?
That's right. Man who returns from the dead, man. Immortal man. Christ, Yahweh Shai, is the first immortal man. And after him, we who belong to him will all be immortal men and women. So you see, this thing is deep. It's deeper than just agrarian feasts. These things from the very beginning have been symbolic of eternity. The Most High knew, and he just sent Yahushua to do the work. Because as I told y'all before, the man wrote the whole movie already, and people just acting in the film right now, right? So, um, let's get Isaiah 26 and 19. Last one on this. Let's get this one, please, Sister Ruth. Is Ruth there? Babe, I can't hear Ruth if she's speaking.
Thy dead man shall live, together with my dead body shall they arise. Awake and sing, ye that dwell in dust. For thy dew is as the dew of herbs, and the earth shall cast out the dead.
And the earth shall cast out the dead. Right? So this is not new. Since the Old Testament, he told you, man, right? The dead Israelite that uh, keep his spiritual law, he say, yeah. These faithful gonna rise with me as well. And when he rose the first time, he did it. He brought certain men into immortality, and at his return, he shall do the same with those that have died in him before the eyes of the whole world. And those that are still alive in him shall instantly be transformed into immortal flesh, which we learn about in the book of Corinthians when it says that in the blink of an eye, um, we shall be changed. Right? Let me pull that up. I just want to pull that up real quick. Right? This is 1 Corinthians 15, 51 to 52. Behold, I show you a mystery. So our beloved brother Paul, right, with his dreadlock Paul, right, that was growing his dreads and went and chilled with the Nazarites, right? So the people in Jerusalem would know that he wasn't teaching to break the law, and then he shaved his head after his Nazarite vow was complete to prove that he was practicing righteousness and not teaching to break the law. Said to the disciples, look, I'm about to show you a mystery, man. Saint Paul that was mistaken for an Egyptian, man. Okay? And not through his clothes because we weren't dressing like Egyptians. All right? He says, we shall not all sleep, meaning we're not all going to die, but we shall all be changed. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, man. All right? By the time your eye twinkle, not even bat, twinkle, by the time the light dance on your eye, you will become a immortal spiritual being. When? At the last trump, right? When Yahweh Shai finish with this place and come to destroy all, to overthrow all governments and destroy all wicked kingdoms. Okay? In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, as we just read. And we who are alive shall be changed, right? So what do I got here? 19, right. Okay. I think that's it on that one. Just bear with me here. Right. So Yahweh Shai is our first fruits. We have the ordinances of the first fruits. We have Yahweh Shai. We have the original ordinances of the first fruits. We have Yahweh Shai as the first fruits on a spiritual level, man. The first immortal man, right? So, lastly, how can we keep first fruits today, right? How can we keep first fruits today? Because it's not kept in the same way that it was kept anciently. This is Deuteronomy 12. We'll read 8 and 9 here. Let's get that, please, Ben. How can we keep first fruits today? Go ahead, Ben. Verse 8 and
Ye
9.
shall shall not do after all the things that we do here this day. Every man whatsoever is right in his own eyes.
Pause. The Most High said in the book of Deuteronomy, fifth book of the Bible, if I remember correctly, you shall not do after the things that you do here today. Don't just do what is right in your own eyes. Because if there's one thing our people have, is opinion. Everybody have an opinion as to what is right and what is wrong. Well, the Most High said you can't just do what you feel like. You can't just go according to your opinion, right? And we'll see why he's telling them that. Read on.
For ye are not as yet come to the rest and to the inheritance which Yahweh your God giveth you.
Right. Read.
But when ye go over Jordan and dwell in the land which Yahweh your God giveth you to inherit, and when he giveth you rest from all your enemies round about, so that ye dwell in safety,
Uh-huh.
then there shall be a place which Yahweh your God shall choose to cause his name to dwell there.
Right.
Thither shall he bring all that I command you, your burnt offerings and your sacrifices, your tithes and the heave offering of your hands, and all your choice vows which ye vow unto Yahweh.
Right. Okay. So that's it on that. You can read on on your own. Okay. Well, this is pretty good. This is pretty yeah, read 12 as well. Read 12 as well.
And ye shall rejoice before Yahweh your God, ye and your sons, and your daughters, and your men servants, and your maid servants, and the Levite that is within your gates, for as much as he hath no part nor inheritance with you.
Right. So the point here being, the Most High said, don't just do what you feel like right now. Meaning, if it's Passover, I don't want to see you just killing a sheep at sundown, down in Barbados, man. Okay, I don't want to see you killing a sheep at sundown in the Philippines or Canada or America, man, or Trinidad, Africa. You can't just do what you feel like. You can't do these things anywhere, man. He says these things ought to be done in the place that he calls his name to dwell, which is Jerusalem. He says, thither, meaning there, shall you bring all that I command you. Your burnt offerings, see that? Your sacrifices, your tithes, your heave offerings of your hand, all your choice vows which you vow unto Yahweh. They're supposed to go to Jerusalem. Okay? This is where you do these burnt offerings and all of these things. All right? Because what we used to vow to the Most High, well, many different things, money, all of these things, that used to go to the temple in Jerusalem. And it will go again to the temple in Jerusalem. The scriptures tell you that the Gentiles gonna bring their forces um into Jerusalem. The gates shall not be closed day or night, because people still have to bring uh everything they have to the master of the universe, man. Okay? The same way Esau every day, all day, Esau taking everything that you own and it's his, and he meeting it out to you according to injustice. The Most High will be taking everything that you have, Yahweh specifically, and meting it out according to justice, not injustice. Okay? Because he tell you when the wicked rule, the people are balling. But when the righteous rule, everyone's happy. Okay. So the rulership of the earth is going to be taken back over, right? And your lords will be righteous lords. Your masters will be righteous masters, right? You, if you keep the Most High's commandment, that those will be your positions in that time. So it says, therefore thy gate shall be open continually, they shall not be shut day or night, that what men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought. All right. So Yahweh Shai will subjugate the world, and everybody have to bring their things to him. And then in 12 it says, for the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee, that will not serve the so-called Negro, shall perish. Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. All right. And if you read before, it tells you, hey, king's gonna minister to you, and king's gonna serve you. All right. So, all your suffering not gonna be in vain. This is just the test. This is just the trial, right? Where were we at? Bear with me a second here. All right. So going back to Deuteronomy 12, you shall not do, what you feel like. All these things supposed to go and be done in Jerusalem. All right. How do we know that? He says here, you are not yet come to the rest and to the inheritance which Yahweh your God giveth you. Okay? Your rest is when nobody can't oppress you no more, man. That's your rest. Your inheritance is what they call the Middle East. That whole place belongs to you. So the Most High said, you can't just go about sacrificing in all kind of places. You're not in your place of rest. It's in your place of rest. You're supposed to do these things. Okay? So because we're not in our place of rest, how then do we keep these feasts, this particular feast and all our feasts? Our brother Tobit has the answers because he was in bondage when he was keeping the feasts of the Most High. Let's see if I should have Tobit right here. Tobit. There we go. If we read Tobit 1 from verse 3, is it Sister Kira who's up? Is it you who's up, Sister Kira?
Remember, but I can read.
All right. Let me get from verse 3 to verse 8. So we'll see how Tobit kept the feasts, right? So first we'll see how he kept the feast in Jerusalem, and then how he kept the feast when he was not in Jerusalem anymore, right? And under bondage. Go ahead.
I, Tobit, have walked all the days of my life in the ways of the truth and justice.
Right. Pause. So this man ain't no rinky-dink brother, okay? The brother say, from time I born, I've been walking in the truth, okay? And in justice. All right? So, can we lend this brother an ear? We certainly can. The Most High thought it was, his work was so awesome that he memorialized the brother in a book in the scriptures. Okay? So this brother has some trustworthy advice, and his account can be learned from, because what the Most High tell us? All the things written in the Bible is for our learning. Okay? That we might look back and see, hey, what it is our brothers and sisters did in various situations, and we can use that as an example in our situations, right? Because he tell you there's nothing new under the sun, right? So our brother Tobit, righteous man, right? So we know we can follow the example that Tobit has set in how he did things, right? So go ahead.
And I did many alms deeds to my brethren.
Alms deeds, right? So
Alms
he did a lot of giving to his brethren, man, to his people, right? Go ahead.
and my nation,
Right?
who came to me in Nineveh. That's how you say that, right?
Yep.
Nineveh?
Yep.
And into the land of the Assyrians.
Pause. I just want to note something here. He said, I did many alms deeds to my brethren and my nation. So his brethren would be the Israelites walking with him in the truth. But notice, he said, and my nation. So Tobit was doing good, not just to his brothers and sisters who were going to service and keeping the commandments. The man was doing good to his whole nation. Okay? This is why Christ told the account of the Good Samaritan, right? You had all these religious Israelites passing their, it doesn't say explicitly it was his own people, but the Bible tells me through precepts that the Most High only cares about his people. So the that account there uh, is most likely an Israelite that was injured. And all the righteous people were walking right by him, and the one unrighteous Israelite, the who is called the Samaritan, the Samaritan was just a Northern Kingdom Israelite. The Northern Kingdom Israelites were hated because they spent so much time being pagans, and God actually disowned them. He said, "You guys are not part of the kingdom no more." Right? And it's only when Christ's blood was shed that they were able to get forgiven for unforgivable sins, sins that would get you killed in Israel or exiled from the nation. They were able to come back in. So this Samaritan who was so hated by the religious Israelites was the only one that had the heart enough to help his nation, right? And Yahushua, the Messiah, thought it very important to tell this parable in this particular way. What does that show us? Whether our people are in the truth or outside of the truth, we ought to show love to, give, and be kind to our people. You see? Because I'll tell you guys this, the scriptures tell us that there's two ways to save a man. By pulling him from the fire, giving him the wood, right? Hating, it says hating the garment that is even the garment that is stained by sin. What does that mean? Hard line, you give them the gospel, this is the word that is written. That's one way. And he said the other way to save people is by showing that you care, man. Showing that you care. That's the other way to save our people, man. Right? So keep that in mind as you walk in the truth. Don't be hard towards your people. Don't do it. When you read the history books tell you that the Israelites treated all their people with, I can't even remember the word. It said basically like we adored our people. And he said we dealt with other people like enemies. The Edomites wrote this in their own history book. We dealt with our people with like delicately. And all other people, we put them by like they were less than nothing, man. So they knew, right? So this is right and true to do. And I bring this up during the first fruits because the first fruits is also an opportunity to do giving within our community as a whole, right? So I thought that was really interesting that the brother said he did alms deeds to his brethren, those walking in the truth, and to his nation as a whole. Even though he reserved what the Most High said to be reserved for his brethren, he was still kind to his nation as a whole, right? So go ahead with verse 4 there, please, Sister Kira.
And when I was in mine own country, in the land of Israel, being but young, all the tribe of Naphtali, my father, fell from the house of Jerusalem, which was chosen out of the tribes of Israel, that that all the tribes should sacrifice there, where the temple of the habitation of the Most High was consecrated and built for all ages.
Pause. So where were we supposed to sacrifice according to this, Sister Kira? Where were we supposed to do all our sacrifices? It's on the third line,
Jerusalem?
Jerusalem, just as I told you guys before, right? We read in the Old Testament, very early, the Most High tell you, you can't just do what you feel like. You need to do these sacrifices in Jerusalem. And then now we have another witness from our brother Tobit, much later during the Assyrian captivity, telling us the the whole house of his father, Naphtali, which is a northern tribe, fell away from Jerusalem. Okay, meaning they fell away from the nation. They stopped practicing righteousness. And he tells you Jerusalem was the place chosen, right? For us to make our sacrifices. So I didn't make this stuff up. Okay. We learn these things through the Most High precepts. We piece the scriptures together to give us the correct photo. That's how the Most High said to do it in Isaiah 28, verse 9 to 10. That's how it's done. That's how you throw opinions out the window and get to the truth of the scriptures, which barely anybody in and out of the truth, in and out of the nation, barely anybody want to do this, which is just puzzling to me, but it is what it is, right? In any case, so his father's whole house had fallen away, right? So let's read on. What else happened? Verse 5.
Now all the tribes which together revolted, and the house of my father Naphtali sacrificed unto the heifer Baal.
Yeah, onto the heifer Baal. So they were sacrificing to cows. All right, go ahead.
But I alone went often to Jerusalem at the feast, as it was ordained unto all the people of Israel by an everlasting decree,
Come on.
having the first fruits and tenths of increase,
So what do you had with him?
the first fruits and tenths of increase.
Right? So the best of everything, he was bringing it to Jerusalem, man. Because as a man, this is what was required of him by the Most High. You gotta go home every year, man. 3 times a year, you gotta go home, and you gotta bring the Most High things for him, man. Right? Go ahead.
With that which was first shorn, and them gave I at the altar to the priests, the children of Aaron.
Just as we read in the ordinance, the brother was keeping the law to perfection, man. April taking the first fruits and the tenths of the increase, and you know what I mean, the first born sheep, and he's bringing it to Jerusalem, and he's giving it to the children of Aaron. Bam. Yeah. Most High gonna bless me this year. Go ahead.
The first
The first 10 part,
the first tenth part of all increase I gave to the sons of Aaron,
right?
who ministered at Jerusalem.
Right?
Another tenth part I sold away, and
Right?
went,
Right?
and spent it every year at Jerusalem.
Right. So,
And
sorry, go ahead. So the brother said a tithe he gave to who? The sons of Aaron. Another tithe, he went and spent it among his people. And we'll see that that's one of the ways that you can give to your people in this day and age. You go and you spend a percentage of what you put aside for your people, because we used to put take 3 years and put tithes away, and then there was a an ordinance of what to do with the tithes, and part of it was supposed to go to the sons of Aaron. And look what the brother did with the rest, right? He spent a third amongst the people, and then what else he did? Verse 8.
And the third I gave unto them to whom it was meet,
Hmm.
as Deborah, my father's mother, had commanded me, because I was left an orphan by my father.
Right. So his grandmother gave him the instruction, man. Right? Hey, when you take these things down to Jerusalem, here's how you do it. Take a tenth and sorry, you take the tenth and you split it in three like this. Take a third, you give it to Aaron and them. You take a third, you spend it amongst your people, and the next third, you give it to who it's appropriate to give to, man. And that's how his grandmother raised him. And the Most High memorialized him and his grandmother, right, in the mighty works of giving to your people, giving to who need it, and giving to the priests, right? Go ahead. Oh, no, I think that's all I want on that. So this is how he kept the feast when he was in Jerusalem. Let's go to chapter 2 real quick because we don't have much time left. Um, See if we can get to the end. I don't have many scriptures left either, but we'll see what the Most High will do on this one. Tobit chapter 2, if we read verse 1 and 2, let's get that, please, Ruth. So this is how Tobit kept the feast in Nineveh. Actually, Sister Kira, continue on this one for me, please. So we saw how he kept it in Jerusalem. Let's see how he kept it when he was in captivity in Nineveh. Go ahead.
From verse 1, right?
Yeah, verse 1 and verse 2.
Okay. Now, when I was come home again, and my wife Anna was restored unto me, with my son Tobias, in the feast of Pentecost.
In the feast of what?
Pentecost.
So that Pentecost is the Feast of First Fruits. What is another name for Pentecost? Da, da, da. Okay, so it's giving us all the Christian ones. Here's a one you're looking for. Savuot, which is modern Hebrew. Um, the Feast of Weeks. In Judaism, this is the original harvest festival from which the Christian Pentecost developed. It occurs 50 days after Passover. That's why it's called Penti, for 50, and celebrates the giving of the Torah. All right. This is absolute nonsense. That's not what it celebrates. It doesn't celebrate the giving of the Torah. But we have the information that we need here that it's also a Pentecost is referring to the Feast of Weeks. Okay. Um, Go ahead.
Which is the holy feast of the 7 weeks.
Go ahead.
There was a good dinner prepared. There was a good dinner prepared me, in the which I sat down to eat. And when I saw abundance of meat, I said to my son, Go and bring what poor man soever thou shalt find out of our brethren, who is mindful of Yahweh. And lo, I tarry for thee.
Pause. So how did the brother keep the Feast of Weeks while he was in captivity? A good dinner was prepared for him. See that? They had a feast. Okay. A literal dinner. Okay. And what did he do with that dinner? He sent his son to go find any brother, go and bring what poor man soever thou shalt find of our brethren, okay? Our nation in this context. But what kind of brother? A brother who is mindful of Yahweh. Okay, and now I'm waiting for you. So he didn't just pick up, just any brother on this occasion. For this holy feast, as I said to you guys before, the person must be walking with the Most High to eat of this feast. That's why Tobit said, go find a man that don't have nothing, but he's also mindful of Yahweh. All right. Um, good. So that's how Tobit kept it. So how can we keep it in our American Empire captivity? This is how, with a good dinner, which is why since the beginning of this lesson, I told you guys, hey, these things we can bring symbolically as we come together and eat, and worship as well to celebrate the the feast of the Most High. Okay, let's see here. Good. Let's go to Leviticus 23 and verse 22. Mm-mm-mm. No, I think we're good there. Just bear with me a second. Yeah, I think we'll be able to get to this. So, all right. So the brother had a good dinner, and then he shared with his righteous brothers and sisters uh, who couldn't afford anything. All right. That's how he kept it in his captivity. So in our captivity, can we eat, drink, give alms, and share with our people like our brother Tobit did? We certainly can, right? So we'll just go through a couple scriptures showing that, and then we'll wrap up. Let's go to Matthew 23. We'll read verse 23. Go ahead, Ruth. Go ahead, Ruth.
Which verse?
Verse 23, please.
Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye pay tithe of mint
Tithe,
and
tithe.
tithe of mint and anise
Mm-hmm.
and cumin,
Mm-hmm.
and have omitted the weightier matters
Weightier or heavier or more important matters of what?
of the law.
Of what?
The law.
But the Christians say you can't keep, you're not supposed to keep the law because Christ died, so now we can just do whatever we feel like. Right now, the high level tricksters say, "Oh no, we still keep the moral law, but these other things like feasts and stuff, Christ already fulfilled it. We don't have to keep these things." One bag of deceivers. Christ tell you straight up, the heavier, the more important matters is the law, man. And what else?
Judgment,
Mm-hmm.
mercy, and faith.
Right. So, so go ahead. Finish that.
These ought ye to have done, and not to leave the other undone.
You see that? So Messiah says to them, these tithes that we've been reading about, these first fruits, you know what these guys used to do? They have farms and stuff, but they bring their first fruits, and their first fruits is herbs, man, herbs and spices. They could bring the sheep and the wheat and the dates, but they bring mint and anise and cumin to the Most High temple. The scribes and Pharisees. Yeah. All them herbs and spices, yo. I ain't giving none of these poor people my sheep, the best of my sheep and the best of my wheat or whatever. To hell with them, right? Said you guys give this, and then you leave out the law, you leave out judgment. Hear this, you leave out mercy and you leave out faith. And this mercy part is really the one I want to kind of highlight. I tell you, judgment, mercy, and faith are the weightier matters. How does this relate to what we're talking about? Giving alms, sharing with our people, these are the weightier matters. To share this feast with other faithful Israelites. These are more important than you coming with a bag of sheep and stuff like that to give to the temple. Okay, he said, yeah, you're supposed to do both, but recognize which is which. Because you're all doing one and leaving out the next one. All right? You're bringing the tithe, but you don't give a damn about Israelites, man. That's what Yahweh Shai is telling them, right? And then he tell them, you blind guides which strain a gnat and swallow a camel. All right. So little things, you make sure you get it out of your teeth, but you're swallowing a damn camel though. The big things, you're not getting rid of them. The big sins that you committed, you're holding on to them. But the little things, you're like, yeah, I'm doing great. You're a hypocrite, Yahweh Shai say, right? Get the foundation right, man. And if you have a little one too wrong, you'll be all right. But if you have the foundation wrong, that house is gonna fall, right? Let's go to Hosea 14. Couple more scripts. Hosea 14. I'm sorry, I'm going a little bit over, but we're pretty much at the end, so just bear with me. I have one, two more scriptures. That's it. So let's see here. We got Hosea 14. I will read verse 2 and 3. Let's get that, please, Ben.
Take with you words and turn to Yahweh. Say unto him, take away all iniquity and receive us graciously. So will we render the calves of our lips.
Pause. So today we don't bring sacrifices to to the altar of the Most High. We know that's illegal when you're not in the land. So what do? The Most High tell you straight, take words with you, man, and turn to Yahweh. Say unto him, take away all sin and receive us graciously. So we will render the sacrifices of our lips. In another place, it tell you the sacrifices of the Most High are what? A broken and contrite heart. The sacrifices of God are a broken spirit. Yes. Right? These are the real sacrifices. The animals were just there for if you make mistakes, but the Most High rather you deal with righteousness and don't have to sacrifice no animals, man. The sacrifices of Yahweh are a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart, which is contrite mind, okay, a broken and humble mind, not broken, a reverent and humble mind. Oh Yahweh, you or thou or you will not despise, man. That's the real sacrifices. And he told us since the Old Testament in the book of Hosea. All right. Um, let's get 3 as well. And then we'll take it to the New Testament. Watch. Go ahead.
A shore shall not save us. We will not ride upon
Sorry,
horses.
you need to speak up a bit.
A shore shall not save us. We will not ride upon horses. Neither we say, neither will we say any more to the work of our hands, ye are our gods. For in the The fatherless findeth mercy.
Right. Indeed, the fatherless findeth what? Mercy. Again, that's why the brother went to look for the poor struggling Israelite who is faithful, right? Because he's like, I can't be eating all this food and there's hungry brothers out there, man. You know, hungry Israelites out there that can't partake in this feast of the Most High because they just don't have. Okay. So can we eat, drink, give alms, and share with our people? Yes, we can. How we keeping the first fruits? Well, with the sacrifices of our lips, the right mindset towards the Most High, the right reverence towards the Most High, helping our people. And let's go to Hebrews 13 here. Let's get 12 and then 15 and 16, please, Sister Kira.
Wherefore Yahushua also, that he might sanctify the people with his own blood, suffered without the gate.
Yeah, so suffered outside the gate, right? Therefore, Yahushua, that he might sanctify the people. Which people? The Israelites. Matthew 15:24, Luke 1, 68 to 72, and many other scriptures tell you the man came to save his people. Okay? Um, so he suffered outside the gate, all right? To you know, to make us holy again using his own blood. Okay, which is what the animals were supposed to do. Um, let's jump down to 15 and 16.
By him therefore let us offer a sacrifice of praise to Yahweh continually, that
Uh-huh.
is, the fruit of our lips, giving thanks to his name.
You see that? So our sacrifice in this time is praise to the Most High continually. This is what Hosea said in the Old Testament, man. He said, use your lips, man, and come with the right spirit towards the Most High. Right? And then here it tells you specifically, come with the fruit of your lips, man, the first fruits of your lips, man. Giving thanks to his name. This is why his name is important. This is why we don't go around talking about Lord. And we call him by his name, Yahweh, which is the only power, right? What else? 16. There's the kicker. Verse 16.
But to do good and to communicate, forget not, for with such sacrifices Yahweh is well pleased.
So the sacrifices that the Most High is well pleased with in this day and age, as we've gone over many times before, is to do good and to communicate. What does that mean, Sister Akira? To do good and communicate. What does that mean?
Okay, to continue talking about um Yahweh and the law.
Good guess, partly, but that's not really it. Let's see. Let's just pull up this verse in the Greek because it's a bit misleading in the English. So Hebrews 13:16. Hold on a second. 13:16. See, the word here is koinonias. Koinonias. All right. It says sharing here, man. Okay. And the good and of sharing, do not be forgetful. With such indeed sacrifices is well please God. All right. So this is the Greek that was written. Koinonias. Let's look a little bit deeper into the word, right? to do good and share, to do good and fellowship, to do good and commune. Okay? Linking up, and that's really what we're looking for. The most trusted what do you call it? Breakdowns of the words are here in the Thayer's Greek lexicon. Nobody questions this, like from the scholar to the armchair scholar. Everybody swears by these the Thayer's Greek lexicon, and here we can find some of the more accurate um, words that represent the spectrum of meaning for the word fellowship, man. Association, community, meaning commune, link up, communion, which is literally linking up, joint participation, right? So there's a lot of contact. There's a lot of Israelites out here that just want to be a solo light, you know, they just want to be by themselves and I'm just gonna do my own thing. Well, you can't. You cannot do your own thing, man. You have to find what do you call it, like-minded Israelites to link up with, man, right? And the Most High will give you the desire of your heart. If you don't desire to link up with Israelites, you just won't find none to link up with. And you'll think you're doing the right thing, but you will perish in your foolishness because you really don't want to do the right thing. You just want to do your own thing. You know what I mean? But the Most High tell you, the sacrifices in these times is link up, eat food, do kindness to your people, man. Hey, what's wrong in that, man? You know, I always say to my wife, whether people believe in what we're doing or not, whether Israelite believe in the Most High or not, this is still the best life for them to live. Because what does it teach you to do? Love and uplift your people. Look out for yourself first. Make sure you're good first, and then help your people to prosper. That's the whole message of the scriptures. Don't be like your oppressor, the Most High says as well. These are the two of the major, or I would even argue two of the main pillars of the Bible, man. Don't be nothing like your oppressor and build up and love your people. Even if you don't believe in the Most High, this is what you should be doing. And he give you rules for exactly how to do it with maximum honor, man, and integrity. So there is nothing bad about the message of the scriptures. It's just not there. There's nothing negative in it. But we happen to know that this is the wisdom of the King of the universe. So we certainly follow it with full faith, right? So how do we keep you know, the first fruits in righteousness today? Last scripture, Tobit 1, verse 7 and verse 8. Let's get that, please, Bruce. Ruth.
The first tenth part of all increase I gave to the sons of Aaron, who ministered at Jerusalem. Another tenth part I stowed away, and went and spent it every year at Jerusalem. And third I gave unto them, whom it was meet, as Deborah my father's mother had commanded me, because I left an orphan by my father.
Because I was left an orphan. Okay, so how do we share with How do we share with the poor and strangers in Israel today? Oh my gosh, I need to touch this one. My bad. Leviticus 23, verse 22. And Yahweh said to Moses, and the Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, In the 7th month, in the 1st day of the month. Is this Leviticus 23? And when ye reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not make clean riddance of the corners of thy field when thou reapest, neither shalt thou gather any gleanings of thy harvest. So, watch this. Thou shalt leave them unto the poor and to the stranger. I am Yahweh, your God. All right. So when you're harvesting um uh the blessings of the Most High in your fields, you're supposed to not clean out everything. You're supposed to leave something for the poor and leave something for the stranger, right? So I just wanted to say that because the poor and the strangers are included um in who we do kindness to um for the first fruits. Okay. Of course, the poor Israelite and the faithful stranger. Now, I said I wanted to pull this up, but I did not get around to it. I'll just put it in the comments. Sorry, in the description of the video later on. So in conclusion, how do we keep the first fruits in this time? Well, we commune with our brethren, right? We have a feast unto the Most High, right? We worship the Most High. The men provide for the during the feast. They must provide. The men cannot do the feast of the Most High empty-handed. We must yeah, that's pretty much it, right? So that's how you do it, right? In this time. And if you want to go hard like Tobit, and you help a poor Israelite family, you spend money at this time on Israelite artists and artisans, right? Because this is what he did when he went to Jerusalem, right? He took some of what he had put aside, some of his first fruits, and he spent it on his people, all right? So you can spend money on Israelite artists and artisans. You can make a donation to a poor stranger dwelling in Israel. You can make a donation to a ministry doing the work of Yahweh. All these things you can do, right? So in these last days, we give the spiritual sacrifices of righteousness unto our God with the symbols of the first fruits in our meals, to keep it simple. We give the spiritual sacrifices of righteousness unto our God with the symbols of the first fruits, a ritual in our meals. This is a time to give of the increase that the Most High has given to us, to his people, his priests, and the singers who need it. Let us keep the Pentecost in spirit and in truth. All praise to Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai. That's all I got on that, my people. That's all I got. Any questions or comments before we wrap? Any questions or comments before we wrap? Going once, going twice. All right, all praise to the Most High. Let me stop this recording here. Oh, was this thing not recording?